kéne egy push-out. Nem fogok kapni. Nem. Ja, meg az is igaz, hogy Fabus jungle-on van. Autofield. Azaz, autoattack csak.
Some of the most annoying champions you could end up facing on top lane are the ones that have infinite sustain, and Cho'Gath is probably the CEO of sustain due to his carnivore passive. In today's video, we'll go over what exactly you can do to overcome it and completely take over the laning phase as Aurora. Yo, and welcome. But before I get on with the game, just really quickly, I'm sure some of you were wondering, why was I not making any videos? And to give an explanation but at the same time keep it short, I was looking for a new apartment for a while, and when I did find one, I also had to fix some internal issues regarding it. So yeah, quite a bit of time went in there. And during that whole fiasco, at the same time, I was also grinding solo queue. I really wanted to get back to Challenger before I make any videos, since the one thing I promised myself when I made this channel was to never give misinformation. AKA, I want to have up-to-date credentials on everything I say, and what better proof of that than being one of the highest ranks in League of Legends. But now, everything is settled, and I'm back to making content. As always, I hope you enjoy. From the very get-go of the matchup, you want to start being very oppressive. Take control over the lane by forcing level 2 first. Never let these type of champions get priority since they can use it in their favor very easily. In this case, my opponent went for Spellbook, which is completely harmless in the early stages, so I know I could step up and look for traits more than I could normally. But of course, try not to step up too much like I currently am. Dodging Cho'Gath's Qs can be easy or difficult depending on the Cho'Gath player, and Vizicsacsi is for sure one of the best top laners in the US, as he's showcasing with his current gameplay. This is why it's very important that you get priority though. Even though I lost some of my HP, I was still able to get a level up before him and take control over the wave and get a good chunk of his HP. When you end up in this situation, your thought process should be, how can I turn this into some form of lead? Ideally, of course, you'd end up solo killing them, but that solely depends on the opponent's greed for last hitting minions under their tower. You might be thinking, why am I not scared of the enemy jungler ganking me right now? And the answer is very simple. It's because it's Karthus. Karthus is a high resource champion that needs to finish his bookler before even thinking about ganking, so I'm feeling really comfortable staying under his tower right now. After a bit of back and forth and me not doing the best job of dodging his Qs, I was still able to push him out of lane. And this is where a very important and pivotal moment of the lane comes. As I know he's looking to go back and teleport, I need to do the same. Staying in lane puts me in danger of letting him crash the incoming wave under my tower, and I want to play the bounce, since that's when I can potentially look to either freeze or set up a solo kill. It's absolutely mandatory that I do this, since he's playing Spellbook as I mentioned, meaning that he will rapidly outskill me after a few minutes, so I need to use this time when he's weak in my advantage. I waste no time and start working on my opponent's HP pool. Now, you might have the same question as before, aka why am I not warding against the enemy jungler? And honestly, that's a very good question. I didn't ward because I was too tunnel vision onto trading with Cho'Gath, which is a mistake. Always ward after you get the free time too. I was still with the mindset that Karthus shouldn't really gank me, but even if that ends up being true, that does not make not warding not a mistake. Anyway, enough jungle talk. Laning is why we're here, right? Notice how I'm meticulously choosing to throw my abilities. I'm aiming specifically at the Cho without hitting too many minions, since I want to maintain the wave pushing towards me. It's very important that you disrupt the axis of minions that Cho'Gath can heal off of. Otherwise, all damage you do will just get mitigated and the pressure will drop. Me and him got into a little scuffle. The main reason why I doubled down on this fight though is his lack of a keystone, which meant that I still win an all-in. I got his flash, and now, me keeping the wave in a good spot means that I can look to transition this into something. Either force a bad back timing for Cho'Gath, or if he gets overzealous, maybe even into a solo kill. I play it out patiently, monitoring his movement very closely and looking to throw abilities when he steps up. Even though it didn't go exactly as I wanted it to, I was still able to overpower him due to him wanting to desperately push the wave and not trade with me as much, and also my champion just being stronger at this stage of the game. My specific item buy helped me out a lot here, since having boots this early meant that I could space him better, dodge his skill shots more, and also chase him down in this particular situation. Now it's time for me to shove the wave so I can get a good recall off. Stepping back into the lane, the wave is pushing back to me, so I'm ready to repeat basically the same formula. but being as aggressive as possible so I can use this time before Cho starts to outscale me. In this instance, once again, you might be thinking, what about the jungler rebirth? But I'm not really scared of him at all again, even without a ward, since unless a Cho'Gath Q hits me, I cannot die. And the classic, I don't hit the wave while hitting Cho'Gath, which means that the wave keeps on pushing into me, which forces him to step up, which means that I can do this. And yeah, as easy as that, once you get a bit of a lead, you can start snowballing it. But the problem is, as easy as this looks, you still need to be careful. It's all fun and games until Cho'Gath gets his first item, because then you need at least 3 to 4 iterations of your abilities to kill him, no matter how ahead you are, because it's mostly magic resist. And all he needs to do to beat you is change CCU into Feast. As you just saw on the screen, it was a pretty close fight. While yes, there was a card assault involved, Cho'Gath once he starts ramping up, especially with Unsealed Spellbook, he's no joke, so don't underestimate him and stay focused, make good decisions. This repeated for a few more times and honestly the game itself wasn't that intriguing. Now, I did make it somewhat interesting by giving my shutdown to the Cho'Gath, you know, just to be sportsmanlike about it. No, I didn't mess up by Eventually, we got to this position where the opponents were forcing fights left and right, we were able to get a few kills and finish the game. Moving on to the next game, we're facing another sustain monster, Trundle. I faced 2 different playstyles of him. The first one is that they will ignore you and look to proxy whenever they can, and at the same time look to rush Tiamat, so they can, you guessed it, keep on proxying. This type of Trundle even sometimes starts longsword refillable, so they can get the item as soon as possible. In this game we're dealing with the second type, which is one that constantly attempts to catch you off guard and look to all-in you, actually trying to win the lane and not just bypass it. Obviously, I prefer facing this one since there's more through in it. And the action has already begun as the opponent is using his level 1 prowess. Very important that you anticipate it and space him correctly. Once you get a good trade in, the key is to not let him sustain the damage for free. Look to always go for big trades onto him, not just one auto attack sequences, since his Doran Shield and second wind will end up out healing your poke. Airy and double mana runes help with this immensely. Unlike Cho'Gath, who can fully heal from level 1 if he gets access to minion waves, Trundle passively sustains when minions die around him, but it's way less effective early, especially before lifesteal. Overall, I would say both matchups are similar, but Trundle is easier since he doesn't have that much reach onto you, while as you saw in the previous game, Cho can fish for Q poke here and there, and also all-wins basically all the time. As the opponent's HP is going quite low, I'm looking to set up a dive, especially since my jungler is pathing to me. Even if he wasn't, of course, I will look to solo dive, but having your jungler behind you does seal the deal. If you want to get the most out of the situation, make sure you slowly push so the opponent loses random minions here and there. At the same time, pre-plan on which wave exactly you will look to dive. Also, ping your jungler for the potential idea, since they might not even see it. In this case, my jungler did see it and decided that it is worth his time, so my preparations paid off. Gathering information and providing information for the most part is free, so look to use it in your advantage, just like right now as I'm telling my teammate the exact way I want to play out the situation, for the best possible outcome. As the range champion, ideally you tank the tower since you can break the aggro very easily as I'm about to show you. Also, notice how I throw one auto attack at the beginning before I throw any ability, so I can guarantee me tanking in case Trundle flashes. It's very important since if Trundle somehow manages to trade 1 for 1 here, it does end up being somewhat worth for them since Xin Zhao ended up dropping 2 camps for this play. Now, interestingly enough, I didn't actually go back after this. I decided to stay, and the reason is I have 2 mana runes, so I won't necessarily run out of mana. This will give me enough time to farm for a better buy since it won't really change my presence in lane as long as I don't make any crucial mistakes. I can still look to freeze on my opponent. Do I recommend anyone doing this? Not really. Playing like this is kind of inconsistent and I only did it because I was fooling around a bit. I held the freeze for a while and eventually on his second clear my Xin Zhao once again wanted to gank. With a bit of coordination, we were able to secure the kill. In 2025 we might not have flying cars, but at least we have ganking junglers. Afterwards, I received a couple more ganks. But playing for top always has its downsides. Since this game ended up being quite difficult, a complete contrast of the Cho'Gath game. It required me to play fights extra carefully since Aurora is very fragile. One CC or wrong move and your whole lead is just gone. For us to win this, we had to play in a way where we have an advantage. In a straight fight, my team was 2 behind to win, so I was constantly looking for poke damage or potential picks and kills I can snatch from the opponents. Like in this case, the enemies were biting slightly more than they could chew, so I was able to grab a shutdown. You might have a question here, why did I only go for Q and not EQ, so I can also finish off the Talia? Answer is, I think if I stay even a half a second longer, I might get polymorphed or Jarvan comboed, so I didn't want to push my luck. So looking back at it again, maybe I could have used E on the Jarvan. At the heat of the moment, playing it safe made more sense, though maybe there was some other angle as well. But the game-winning play ended up being the opponent carry stepping up and not respecting my catch potential, as they were just about to get priority and look to start Baron and applying pressure at the same time with their top laner. I was able to find a very good engage angle. To have consistency at carrying with Aurora, you need to always look for these type of plays. Since mistakes happen all the time, you just need to be there at the right place at the right time to make use of them. And of course, afterwards we were able to capitalize on this fight by ending the game. Now, before we end the video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who sent me some nice messages asking where I was or why I wasn't uploading. And basically anyone else who was wondering where video at. It's just amazing to think that there's people out there who actively watch and want more content from me. What more can I ask for? I do have some extra good news. As the video went live, I've gotten my hands on some new Aurora emotes. I'll of course keep updating our community with new ones whenever I can. And also for the people that have been asking me for streaming, it's coming very soon, so keep an eye out for it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe and join the Discord server if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.